Chip's Thanksgiving by Annie Hamilton Donnell. Chip had plenty of nuts on Thanksgiving Day. The little lady called Heart's Delight saw to that. Can you guess who Chip was? They had got way through, as Terry said, to the nuts. It had been a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner so far. Grandmother's sweet face beamed down the length of the great table, over all the little crinkly grandheads, at grandfather's face. Everybody felt very thankful. I wish all the children this side o' the North Pole had had some turkey, too, and squash and cranberry, and things, said Silence quietly. Silence was always wishing beautiful things like that. And some nuts, added Terry, setting his small white teeth into the meat of a big fat walnut. It wouldn't seem Thanksgiving-y, 'thout nuts. I know somebody who would be thankful with just nuts, smiled grandfather. Indeed, I think he'd rather have them for all the courses of his Thanksgiving dinner, just nuts. No turkey, nor puddin', nor anything. The crinkly grandheads all bobbed up from their plates and nut pickers in amazement. Just nuts. Yes. Guess who he is? Grandfather's laughing eyes twinkled up the long table at grandmother. I'll give you 3 guesses apiece, beginning with Heart's Delight. Guess number 1, Heart's Delight, Chip, gravely. Heart's Delight had guessed it the very first guess. Chip, laughed all the little grand girls and boys. Why, of course. Chip. He would rather have just nuts for Thanksgiving dinner. I wish he had some o' mine, cried Silence. And mine, cried Terry, and all the others wished he had some of theirs. What a Thanksgiving dinner little Chip would have had. He's got plenty, thank you. It was the shy little voice of Heart's Delight. A soft pink color had come into her round cheeks. Everybody looked at her inquiringly, for how did Heart's Delight know Chip had plenty of nuts? Then Terry remembered something. Oh, that's where her nuts went to, he cried. Heart's Delight gave 'em to Chip. We couldn't think what she'd done with 'em all. The pink color was growing pinker, very pink indeed. Yes, that's where, said Silence, leaning over to squeeze one of Heart's Delight's little hands. And sure enough, it was. In the beautiful nut month of October, when the children went after their winter's supply of nuts, little Heart's Delight had left all her little rounded heap just where bright-eyed, nut-loving squirrel Chip would be sure to find them and hurry them away to his winter hole. And Chip had found them, she was sure, for not one was left when she went back to see, the next day. Why, maybe this very minute, right now, Chip's cracking his Thanksgiving dinner, Terry laughed. Same as we are. Maybe he's got to the nut core. Oh, they're all nut courses. But maybe he's sittin' up to his table with the rest of the folks. Thanksgiving to Heart's Delight, Silence said. Heart's Delight's little shy face nearly hid itself over her plate. This was dreadful. It was necessary to change the subject at once, and a dear little thought came to her aid. But I'm afraid he hasn't got any grandfather and grandmother to his Thanksgiving, she said softly. I shouldn't think anybody could Thanksgive 'thout a grandmother and grandfather.